taking a chance on myself. I need a place to dump. I probably need to go to a counselor, or I might be able to gut it out. I just need a safe to get it all out, and I think I've found it. I know that some of this divorce is my fault, and I do want to learn from it. I see a lot of abbreviations, and I haven't figured them all out yet, so bear with me as I type them all out, or if you see one, please point it out to me. I was married back in 2013. I was with her since 2009. I am in my early 40s. She is almost 10 years younger than me. I thought I was careful in determining that she did want to have kids because she said she did before we got engaged. She said that she could finish her degree, have a baby, and work. After we were first married, I told her I would prefer her to stay home and raise babies. She was outraged with this, and for the longest time she said that assumption is what shut her down for her emotionally connecting to me. We went to marriage counseling. I recanted my statement and told her that I was okay with her working and going to school, but if she chooses to, she could stay home and raise children. She haunted me with the first original opinion after we were married as her reason for her not communicating what she needed to me. I was accused and probably was abusive, as she calls it. I did say words like "you're being sensitive." I recanted and apologized that it hurt her for years. After 5 years of still hearing she was not getting over this and it was still an issue of her not opening up to me, I finally told her to get over it. Counseling failed for both of us when we first went. I was trying to communicate to her how she would understand it. Eventually we gave up on it because she would get frustrated. She was a touchy person. She loves to be rubbed. I am not like that at all. I told her she needs to tell me what she needs. She rarely did and was disappointed sometimes when I did as she requested. She wanted me to just know what she wanted without actually telling me. Back about the same time she was getting hung up on the staying home and raising babies, she told me she didn't want to have kids. I argued, saying that was a deal breaker and I wouldn't have married her if that was her opinion. She said, and we agreed to keep being married, and I hoped that she would change her mind about children. She blamed that change on me telling her that I wanted her to stay home and raise babies. After counseling we stayed together and I was happy, and I thought she was too, at least she said she was. I thought the counseling did help, but looking back she would shut down when the counselor asked her questions. I also gave up on having kids and went along with not having them. I would agree with her when she would give reasons not to have them, but in my heart I always did. I thought she would change her mind and I didn't want to fight about it anymore. 2 or 3 years later I lost my job. The good money-making days were over, and after talking with her she was okay with me changing careers. I then started traveling and wasn't home but 4 days a month. During this time, she did have a good paying job, but with the loss in my salary during this first year we were still falling short on bills. We fell behind on the mortgage. After I gained experience in my field, I found a job that would get me home every night. I was finally going to make almost much as I was making prior to my job loss. Around the same time, she got her degree. She left her better paying job for a lowering paying, but it was in her field of study and I fully supported it. I was happy for her because she was really unhappy at her other job. Her job paid for her degree, so she stayed until it was completed. I still thought we were okay. Things were hard. Money was tight, but I knew it was just a matter before I did find a job that got me home every night and paid well. After I found the job that paid well and got me home, our beloved pet died and I really bonded with her a lot. We cried for weeks. She also told me she was starting a business with another man she knew from work. I was skeptical from the beginning. I didn't know him. She said he was married. I looked them both up on Facebook and they didn't look married. I told my wife about my suspicions. He was 47, she was 25. Married people on Facebook have happy pictures, kids, etc. I did have access to his page and her page. We became friends on Facebook, so I saw it all. There was nothing there indicating a marriage. I told her it was a really bad idea and she started the business anyway. I told her I thought he was creepy. I told her I was afraid I would never see her. For the next 6 months I barely saw her. She was there with him building this business. She was also working full-time as her real job, and this was just a part-time deal. Needless to say, I never saw her. We did catch each other periodically and occasionally we would sleep together. Our physical life was way out of whack. At some point we only did it once a month. I was copying a document from my email on her computer and her email opened up. I saw a copy of her text to him and various emails. They described a 6-month relationship, which showed me there was an emotional affair at the minimum going on. I told her she needs to leave him and their business. She claims that you don't make any money when you start a new business, so it wasn't making any money. She said she was sorry and she looked and acted like it. She postponed her going there for 2 weeks. She never agreed to leaving him or their business. She became demanding and was mad at me. She admitted she was in love with him, but they were just friends now because he was unemotionally available. I believed it. I told her that maybe now would the time to split up. She has had an affair and she doesn't want to have kids. I gave her the option to get out and she didn't. I then really started to press the kids thing. I was desperate. I told her even if we don't work things out, at least I would have child. I was hoping that we would reconnect and get past this and finally have child. Finally, after catering to what she wanted and not committing to anything I was asking, I told I was fed up, and if she didn't have an answer that I was filing for divorce the next business day. I gave her a deadline. She came home that night and told me she did want to have kids someday. The way she phrased it, or the way I interpreted it, was that it was with me. Later she got angry and said the real reason she doesn't want to have kids is because she was afraid I would treat them like I treat her. Again, I sucked it up and cooked dinner for her, did as she asked, and she went back to her business the entire weekend. I knew I was being played. I eventually hacked her security on her phone when she was asleep. My heart has never beaten that fast unless I was physically active. She had been telling him everything. The play-by-play of our problems. A date broken with him because I had to stay, which followed with "I'll still have time to sneak out and see you," dinner dates, etc., etc. It was clearly a relationship more than business. Some of it was business, but it was mostly him being cute and her responding in kind. I went in and woke her up and told her we were done. She went downstairs and slept in the other room. Next, I blasted it on Facebook. I gave all names and details. Everyone, family included, saw it. I called her dead. I made it a full-blown frontline family news story. It's clearly over now. I got a lawyer a couple of weeks ago and he's been handling everything. I still want to have kids. I'm just pissed because I wasted 10 years with her and now I have to start over finding someone to do that with, and I'm not sure if she's out there. I want a woman that doesn't have children already, and it's a pretty sparse market when you're over 40 looking for someone, say 35. I know I won't be ready to date for another year or so. I peeked at a dating service and it was bleak. It did give me a little reassurance that it could happen. I've cried for maybe 2 minutes over this whole affair. Is there something wrong with me? I catch myself giggling over some of the posts when they rant about their exes because it's exactly how I feel. I feel nuts. I'm angry. I didn't sleep for a day after I saw her text to him. I'm so angry. I need a punching bag. I want to beat the crap of him. I want to yell at her. For an entire day my mind replayed our conversations over and over and over, and it always ended with profanity. This will pass, but it sure sucks balls right now. She took my dog too. I'm getting the dog back. Update. She never gave me an answer of her leaving him and her business with him. I set up an appointment for MC. She showed and said she wasn't going to leave the business and him. That's when I knew it was over. She said that she wanted respect while in the meeting with the MC. I generally respect people if they are respectful. Cheating and deceiving spouses are not respectful. She said that she has artists on consignment that depend on her for selling their art, and that's why she can't leave. No, she might make $20 a weekend and she get her store for free because she runs the entire mall basically by herself, while he does all the construction. In their texts that I read, he said he couldn't run the place without her, and I believe it. I just wish she would have put that same energy into our marriage. I just don't think she liked being married, and no, she didn't want kids. I should have left the day after she told she didn't want kids. How come marriage counselors insist on not addressing my issue with her changing her mind about having kids and keep trying to get us to focus on something we have in common first and then eventually work our way back up to wanting to have children? I am getting too old to play let's find out if we want to have kids. I felt sorry for the marriage counselor. I think she could see it as plain as I see it now. She asked her 3 or 4 times if she would leave him and she said no. The MC talked to us individually too, and I'm sure she asked her again. I'm not dumb enough to stay married to her while she's still talking to him regularly. I am hurt that she chooses him and that place over me. Right now, all I do is think about her. She left to God knows where. I have most of the bills in my name now. Divorce is filed but no one has been served. I can't get off of the couch. There are things that need to be done and I am not doing them. I catch myself snooping in her belongings. She took the bare minimum to wherever she went. It's all still here in our house. After the we haven't talked at all. At my request she hasn't been here in 2 weeks now. I pray to let go and forgive her and it works for a while. Then I get angry again. I hope it ends soon. I hate feeling like this. Her dad said he was ashamed of her. WS's mother had an affair on him and left. His new wife, not WS mother, sent me a FB message that said they knew I was a good guy and they love me. I think they support me, but it's his daughter and blood are generally thicker water. I'm sure I made this upcoming Thanksgiving a very uncomfortable place for her if she even goes. After the MC, I told her she's not to stop by anymore unannounced and to take her plants and rats, and she did. We haven't spoken in a couple of weeks now. I'm almost sure it was physical too. I lost interest in myself. Bonding became recreational after she told me she didn't want kids. I still needed it, but not as much. I was okay with once a week, and during the time I believe they were seeing each other she did completely cut me off for months at a time. I did have myself checked out for STDs and I'm clean. What do I do with all her stuff? She hardly took anything to wherever she went. I think I should take wedding pictures down and put her stuff in another room. When I see her stuff, I dwell on it. Well, I contacted the in-laws to ask if I could store her stuff there. Bad mistake. I tipped my cards. They are taking her side. According to father-in-law and her, I need to leave it all alone because she is afraid of being around me. The father-in-law said just what she said, that I was harassing her with the text and I need to be an adult and not do anything. He later said he would try to be there with us while she collected her things. He's a nice person and I hate losing him. He has obviously fell into her trap by believing she is the victim. I've texted her and told her to collect her personal belongings. She said that she would sue me if I moved her things. She took nothing with her. A suitcase full of clothes. I need to get her personal effects out of here so I can start to move on. I need to take action, and I will. I talked to my lawyer, and as long as I take pictures of things and put it all in a storage facility with the first month rent, the lawyer would contact her or her addie, if she has one, and officially give her all the information on where to get her stuff. I will also do that via TXT. She's not responding to my texts now, but I did tell her I'm packing it up this weekend and intend on moving the following weekend, and she expect correspondence regarding her things through him and me. The lawyer also said that since we properly notified her of the whereabouts of her possessions, that a judge will likely see it in our favor, as she did try and sue me over her personal effects. I was never given the opportunity to discuss anything. She uses the excuse of assuming I wouldn't approve of it. She was right. I wanted to work on starting a family, but at the time I was telling her I was okay without kids because she didn't like being pressured. She started the business with him without telling me anything about it. She had to have known I wouldn't have liked it, so she did it without me entirely. I didn't like it. I went along with it and told her it would probably end badly. I'm pretty sure she lied about a third business partner that was bought out. I called him once and told him I was skeptical to what was going on and I was concerned about how they are intending on financing everything. He never revealed anything and said he had to go. He wouldn't meet me and my wife for dinner to discuss it. Nothing, probably her doing. I didn't like it because he was supposedly married, and from what I saw on FB she was 25 and was 46, and there were no happy pictures of them together. First red flag. Later I was told, trickled information, that he was getting divorced and that she was a lesbian. Everything about this business made me uncomfortable. Shortly after, she used money from her retirement to pay off an $800 bill so the lights could stay on in her business, and the money could have been used to pay off bills. We were behind on getting a new car that I needed because I didn't have one. I opened up my own account and stopped putting money into a shared account, except to pay future auto drafts. So, this did cause a separation between us. Apparently, she never wanted to share anything like a checking account anyways. I should also point out that she claims that it makes no money and hasn't for the last year now. She's either lying about the profits or she just likes to throw her money away. I understand it takes a little bit of time make income on a startup company. Usually, people don't do this unless the business can at least make enough profit to be able to use some of it for their own personal use. My desperation got the best of me, but I did tell her after D-Day that I would still have a child with her during that awkward phase of false reconnection. My blinders were on and I could only think of being alone and having to start over with someone else. All the time it takes to get to know each other, etc. I hope you're right. Today was a good day. I asked her, as mentioned above, to get her personal effects out of the house. I got a call from today that her dad and brother were coming to pick up some of her things. It went about as well as it could. It was funny though because she didn't bring any boxes, and since I was ready to do it myself for her, I went into the garage and grabbed about 15 boxes, tape and wrapping paper and put in front of them, and they went to work. I went downstairs and watched football. My brother-in-law was same as always, polite and didn't say anything offensive, took no sides, and we small talked about football and his kids. I've always admired his family. My father-in-law was also polite. It was my father-in-law that probably convinced her that she had no reason to afraid of me and talked her into getting her stuff today. I will truly miss them both. Her dad and I had a moment. He said that he will miss me and wanted to see me again. I didn't let my guard down because she was nearby, but I wanted to bawl. I don't have a father, and he was the closest thing to one now for me. On the way out, he whispered to me that his ex-wife and STBX mother acted the same way WS is acting today. His ex-wife cheated on him too. I also had a chance to give STBX my lawyer's address and phone number. She said she would get back to me about hers. The only time it was awkward is that my father-in-law basically asked me to be friends with STBX. What I simply told him was that things were different between him and I because her and I don't have kids. What I wanted to say was my friends don't even treat me as bad as she did, and if they did, they wouldn't be my friend anymore. I have no intention of remaining friends with STBX. The last thing I need is to have her start dumping her BF problems on me. Overall, it went well today. I definitely still love my father-in-law and brother-in-law. She killed that too. I will do my best to keep the relationship going with them by just being a friend to them. I'm still confused and don't know when she will be getting the rest of her stuff because she doesn't think that far ahead or plans anything, but I'll settle for a small victory today. I talked to lawyer because I didn't want to break any laws regarding mutual property. My lawyer said to take pictures of everything first. He also said he would make an official letter and send it to her or Addie with all the needed information to gain entry. I'm starting this tomorrow. I've been doing better. With Thanksgiving it's been hard to locate and I see what I have, and we've been playing phone tag on setting an appointment. My job keeps me physically active, so I haven't been working out. I get a good workout from work every day. I've set small goals. Moving her stuff out my room, working on that today. I just found out that since my wife filed for divorce and did not serve the paperwork, I cannot send the paperwork to her. The person that files have to do it. I was buying time for the sole fact of refinancing my home in my own name. I needed a little time to rebuild credit. Now I am ready to pull the trigger only to find out that my lawyer needs to contact the clerk at the courthouse to see if we can proceed with the divorce, and if her not sending the paperwork, divorce decree, is going to cause problems in getting divorced. I'm waiting for the lawyer to let me know my options on what to do. Worst case scenario, the filling she did for the divorce lasts for 6 months. If nothing is done, it stops and then I can file and send the divorce decree and start over. I was under the impression that I could send divorce decree and send it to her regardless of who filed it. I had plans for dramatic effect which I can't do now and might have to wait till next April to do it. I want to move on and she is not coming back. I think she didn't send because she couldn't afford it, not for some chance of reconciliation. Or she just didn't know. She says she has a lawyer, but I don't think she has one on retainer. She really is in a fog. Kind of pathetic. I still haven't heard from the lawyer, but this weekend I moved all of her stuff out of my new bedroom and cleaned it top to bottom. I now have a closet and plenty of drawers to hold my clothes. I am motivated now to keep packing up her stuff. I feel like it's just my room now and I don't have to look at her stuff. It really is helpful. Probably won't be dating until the divorce is final. I'm not going out of my way. I've spoken with a single woman via FB, an old friend. I have always been attracted to her, but I don't know her anymore, and she has a boyfriend for a couple of months. It took her about 2 weeks to get back to me. Not pushing anything, but I am gun shy. If she wanted to talk more, I'd have to check with her to see if her relationship is exclusive with him. I don't want to hurt anybody, and I know personally I wouldn't date me just because I'm not divorced. Went to an IC today. I was so scattered. I couldn't at times keep my thoughts together enough to answer her without going into another topic. It helped. I cried, she listened, and made sure I was eating and sleeping. It went well, and I am looking forward to next week. I have few friends. I felt close to my in-laws, and now it's, well, you know, both of my parents are deceased. I did hang out with a buddy of mine for Thanksgiving. I am by nature extroverted and feel comfortable around people, and I do love to talk. I'll work on the hobby thing. When I was kid, I used to surf. Loved it. I moved far from the beach. I've tried other hobbies but never really enjoyed as much as I did surf, so nothing really stuck. I still watch football religiously. I don't think I would like to go to a group for support. I never looked into it. I suppose it couldn't hurt. I did 3 things this week. 1. I took off my wedding ring. 2. I went to see an IC. I like her so far and I'm set to go every week for a while. It helped a lot. A safe place dumps my feelings. Lastly, I joined a dating service, and kind of at the point that I want to talk with women. I don't have a lot of friends and I really need to be communicating with other people. I'm extroverted naturally, so not interacting with people didn't feel right. She doesn't have a lawyer, and when she came with her dad and brother, she only took a small amount of her collectibles, not clothes or makeup. I took back the bedroom and packed some of her stuff, and I'm slowly working on boxing the rest of her things. Eventually I'll get all moved to a storage facility. She still ignores my texts and has been for about a month now. My texts were regarding business stuff, like switching over the internet bill, and still she won't respond. Now I have started a new internet service and stick her with the bill because she won't tell me if she will go fix it. I had a call from the car dealership. I gave them her number and told her they called, no response. I was afraid she would just bail out on the car entirely and leave it there. I called the next day and she did at least pick it up. I still have to call the car dealership to check and see if she made her payment. It's just ridiculous, really. If she doesn't have a lawyer, how am I supposed to know what half of the stuff in the house that's mutual property is the stuff she wants? If she keeps it up, I'm going to bury her with my addy. No response means I get everything I ask for. I mentioned earlier I started a profile on a dating service. I'm definitely going to be okay. I have a date Wednesday and we're talking in chat. Go me. There's like 5 women that friended me on FB and another that wants to be skiing this weekend. I couldn't be happier at the moment. About STBX, I think she thinks I'm going to abuse her verbally. She's timid and worries about the oddest things. I was angry, but I can talk with her about the business between us we need to settle without a scene. I mentioned she did come to pick up somethings, but she had to do it with her dad and brother here. They both live more than 100 miles away. My father-in-law whispered to me as he left that her mother acted the same way when they split up after an affair. Her perception is skewed and she's acting as if I'm abusive, and I feel like she's playing the victim. A fair fog, methinks. I went on a date with a beautiful woman. She's getting some 800 messages on her dating site. I feel like I hit the lottery. I also got another one that just now gave me her number. This is so much fun. I see wants me to list and describe all my past relationships. We talked about my childhood. I bawled. When I got home from my date, I cried. I cry all the time. I miss being married, and I still miss what my STBX was before she cheated. I slept with the women I took out. You need to know that. I say that because I am not sure if it has something to do with the release of endorphin that feels like love when you have slept with someone. They are powerful effects. Actually, she's blown me off now and I'm finding myself needing her. It's actually a really crappy place to be. Are you sleeping with these women? Maybe just dancing and getting close to their bodies can do this to you. I really don't know, but I really like it. The downfall is that you don't get to get those endorphins on a regular basis. It's almost like the meds. The counselor asked me if I felt like I cheated on her. I said I don't think it feels like guilt. It was more a realization that sleeping with a stranger is unfulfilling and I am missing the relationship with my STBX before D-Day, the happy times when she loved me alone and no one else. The counselor used the word guilt. I'm not totally convinced that's what it was. By you seeing other women, you are causing no harm to anyone else. We are single now. You're not causing any harm to your STBX by sleeping with other women. The vows are toast and the relationship is over. For me, I just want to be married again. You don't get that same type of emotional attachment or any of the other benefits when you're just dating. This is going to be the worst Christmas ever. Not only am I dealing with a divorce with no family, but I also just got fired from my job. I feel like my world has folded in on itself. I want this woman I slept with to fix me, hold me, tell me I'm going to be alright. I am a complete walking disaster. The insurance cancels at the first of year, so no more I see. Probably going to lose the house if I can't find a good paying job. I know I'll survive it all and live to see another day, but pretty much everything I have is going out the window unless I can catch a really big break. Can I have the life behind door number 3? This one sucks. It's only been 3 months since D-Day. Lessons learned so far. Transparency is a necessity in a healthy relationship. Happy couples are not probing into emails at whim, but both are in agreement. If the other feels they want, they can. Most of them have nothing to hide and it's not an issue. Dating, I am not ready to do it, but the experience has shown me that when I am ready there will always be women available. Divorce sucks. She hasn't paid her car payment for 2 months now. I've tried everything except make the payment and I'm not going to, ever. I gave the bank her work number and told them of the situation, and when it goes to repurchase agreement, I'll go get it and turn it in. My plan is to ask for a year and a half after divorce to refinance the house. This will give me time to make up for the late payments on the vehicle. I might ask for a longer time depending on how long she stays late on payments. The lease doesn't end until September of next year. I was almost at a point of giving up on keeping the house. It may end up that I sell it anyways depending on what the judge says. I have an inquiry into her business with no response from her yet. I may need to have a court order to make her do it. So far, she still doesn't have a lawyer. I hope I can get the judge to see her irresponsibility and will allow me time to fix my credit to refinance the house. I'm also hoping she and OM have a little money in their business that they will be forced to give me. It may force them into liquidating assets of the business to pay me for what is legally mine. I do like the idea of making him know it was me who ruined his business. You mess with the bull and you get the horns. It would be much more fulfilling than beating the crap out of him. An update: I took a job driving over the road. I'm considering just giving up on the house. I've got family in NC and I'm considering moving there. I might just drive the truck until I can't stand it anymore and want to move into an apartment. I'm not totally sure of this yet. I'm going to drive for a few weeks and then make a decision on it. The plus side is once the house is gone, I can seriously rat hole some money pays off the debt of the house, which is inevitable if I sell or quick sell it. I'm considering bankruptcy and leaving my old life behind and starting over somewhere else. I still think about her constantly. I've given up on dating for the moment. I run the tape through my head and it only takes the memory of her texting him right after we had bonded 2 weeks after D-Day to bring me back to reality. I've had trouble sleeping too. I wake up with dreams about her almost nightly. She got a lawyer, but she hasn't made a car payment for almost 3 months, which has ruined any chance of refinancing the house. I just don't want to be in the house anymore anyways, but the lawyer says I could ask the judge to give me a couple of years to reestablish my credit to refinance on my own, but right now I just want out. I'm pretty sure I'm moving out of state. I'm just not sure if I want to try and make it back in San Diego where I was born and raised, or go to North Carolina with my family. I can't wait to feel good again. I just want this all to be over so I can rebuild my life. I've decided to move to Virginia Beach, Virginia. It's February and they are surfing right now. My family is also there. I think I am now understanding what it means to take care of me. I need my family and I need to do something I enjoy. I've done a lot of thinking as to what would make me happy. I can't picture a better place for me. I thought of moving to San Diego. I was born there, but there isn't any family left, but they have better beaches for surfing. I decided to go with Phoebe because I will be able to surf and I'll get to see my family. My cousin has 2 great kids, 8 and 11. I am looking forward to being a part of their lives and recreating my own. I feel free to do whatever I want. The future looks much better. I can also go to work there in my field of study. I couldn't really do that because where I currently live, I couldn't take the pay cut and still afford the mortgage. Now I can. I can now see how things will be better when the divorce is final. An update for all that are interested. As you know, my STBX filed for divorce and left the house and moved into a new address. This was back in October. I've been paying all the bills associated with house we own together since February of 2018, when she started a new business with her AP. Since then, I have had a discovery done into his AP business. The information is now available. She turned it in the same day my lawyer was going to court to have it court ordered. I'll post more about it when I see it sometime soon. There has been no contact from her in the last 5 months, until recently. A buddy of mine was living in the house with me while I was working and she decided to stop by. It turns out she is now desperate. She is asking for possession of the house until the divorce is final. My lawyer has offered a counteroffer. If she doesn't accept these terms, I'll be asking for sole possession of the house until the divorce is final. The court date is Monday. If she accepts the terms, we won't need to go to court. So, she wants the judge to kick me out of the house, pay all the bills associated with it, find a new place to live and pay the rent there until the divorce is finalized, which will likely be over in a month or two. I'm pretty sure the judge will take my side. My counteroffer is fair. My comment: we will find out the ending to OP's relationship struggle with his STBX. Part 2 coming very soon. Stay tuned.